If you're flying internationally for the first time, packing your carry-on can feel stressful. What do you actually need on the plane? What if your checked bag is delayed? And what can you even bring through security? In this video, I'm walking you through exactly what to pack in your carry-on for an international flight so you're comfortable, prepared, and not digging through your bag mid-flight thinking, I should have packed that. And to help you out even further, I have a free first international flight checklist that'll give you a timeline of everything you need to do to prepare for your first flight. Check out the link in the description. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
Let's start with why your carry-on matters more on international flights. Your carry-on is your lifeline on an international trip. Flights are longer, jet lag is real, and sometimes checked bags don't arrive when you do. The goal is to pack smart, not heavy, so you have everything you need, even if your checked bag is delayed for a day or two. The most important category of items that should always be in your carry-on are your documents and essentials. This would include your passport, visa, or travel authorization, which, by the way, I have a video that walks you through how to find out if you need one. Boarding passes, which I recommend getting digital boarding passes through the airline's app, in addition to a screenshot or a printed backup just in case. Wallet with credit and debit cards, some local currency, which is optional but helpful, travel insurance info, and your phone and charger, plus a power bank to keep your devices charged. And a pro tip, I like to carry my important documents in a travel pouch like this one so that they're all in one place, but I also separate my cash and credit cards into different secure places so that if one item goes missing, I have a backup. The next important items that you'll want to pack in your carry-on are your medications. This is huge for international travel. You want to pack any prescription medications and in their original containers if possible. Certain medications such as opioids, ADHD meds, some antidepressants, and even certain cold meds can be restricted or illegal in other countries. So you always want to check your destination country's embassy or consulate and the CDC travel website before traveling. Now, you may or may not be aware that the TSA has a liquid rule that you can't take more than 3.4-ounce containers of any type of liquid. However, that rule is exempt if you're carrying medically necessary medications. You'll just need to let the TSA agents know that you have them before you get screened at security. Other medications that you may want to pack are basic pain relievers, motion sickness meds, any daily vitamins, and then glasses or contacts plus a backup if needed. Never pack medications in your checked bag. If that bag gets lost, you'll be very glad you kept these with you. Let's move on to packing comfort items for your flight. International flights are long, so comfort items can make a huge difference. Some comfort essentials that you should consider packing are a neck pillow, an eye mask, noise canceling or wired headphones, and a light blanket or a scarf. Most airlines will provide a pillow and a blanket for your flight, so take that into consideration. The other item that I would consider adding are compression socks. Compression socks are especially helpful on long-haul flights to reduce swelling and improve circulation, especially if this is your first long flight. Next up is in-flight entertainment and personal items. Even if your plane has entertainment, it's smart to bring a few backups. Here are some ideas. A phone or tablet with movies and shows downloaded, a book or Kindle, a notebook or journal, and a pen, which is important for custom forms. And yes, sometimes they will still hand out paper custom forms, and having your own pen is a small thing that makes life easier. If you're traveling with kids, make sure they also have items to keep themselves entertained for the long flight. Let's talk toiletries, but remember, TSA rules still apply. If you're not familiar with the TSA rules for toiletry type items, let me briefly review those with you. You're allowed to bring 1 quart-sized bag of liquids, aerosols, gels, creams, and paste in your carry-on bag and through the security checkpoint. These are limited to travel-sized containers that are 3.4 ounces or less per item. It's also a good idea to have your bag of liquids in an easy-to-get-to place, as you may need to take it out when going through security. With the liquid rule in mind, here are some toiletries that you may want to keep in your carry-on. Toothpaste and travel toothpaste, face wipes or cleansing wipes, lip balm or chapstick, hand sanitizer, deodorant, and moisturizer. Long flights dry you out, so moisturizer and chapstick are good to have. For anything else that you need to carry over the 3.4-ounce limit, you'll need to pack those in a checked bag. And for a checked bag, there is no limit to the amount of liquids and gels you can carry, but you want to be mindful of the weight of your checked bag, as most airlines will have a max weight limit of 50 pounds without incurring an overweight fee. The next set of items you'll want to pack in your carry-on is a change of clothing. This is especially important for first-time international travelers. If your checked bag is delayed, having clean clothes with you will immediately reduce stress. So you want to have one change of clothes, underwear, socks, and maybe a light sweater or hoodie, depending on where you're traveling to. And then lastly, international flights usually include meals, but the timing can be weird. So I always like to bring a few snacks with me, just in case I end up sleeping through a meal or get hungry before the meal is served. Some good snacks to take would be protein bars, trail mix, crackers, and gum or mints. It's important to know that you can bring your own snacks through security, and any food you buy once you're past security and in the security area can be brought on the plane with you, including liquid beverages of any size. However, you may not be allowed to bring them into another country, so be sure to consume them before landing. So now that we talked about what you should pack in your carry-on for an international flight, let's do a quick reminder of what not to pack in your carry-on. This would be any liquids over 3.4 ounces, any sharp objects, large bottles of toiletries, and anything else that you would be upset about losing, either at security or in your checked bag. When in doubt, check the TSA rules at tsa.gov or pack it in your checked bag. You can also message the TSA directly should you have any questions or are just not sure if you can pack an item in your carry-on bag. You can either text travel to Ask TSA, use Facebook Messenger, Apple Text, and an X post. You can also email them or call them if you prefer. I have messaged them on a number of occasions and have even attached links to an Amazon item, which they appreciate, and they can give you a definitive answer on if your item will be allowed in your carry-on. Let me leave you with some final carry-on tips that will make your international travel smoother. I personally like to use a combination of compression packing cubes and rolling my clothes to save space and keep my carry-on organized. I do have an Amazon store where I have a list of travel accessories that I use when I travel. It may be helpful to you as a new international traveler as to what items you might want to bring with you. You can find a link for it in the description. You also want to keep all your essentials like your passport and medications in an easy, accessible place. And try to resist overpacking. If you find yourself consistently telling yourself, but what if I need it? You probably don't need it. As someone who has done a lot of international flights, 9 times out of 10, the item that you might need just in case, you will almost never need. And remember, almost anything that you forgot or need can be bought at your destination. Packing lighter is always going to be better. And then always assume that you may need to rely on your carry-on for 24 hours once you arrive at your destination. For some reason, there have been times when my luggage ends up on a later flight, and thus I don't get my checked bag until almost a day later. So if you're a first-time international traveler, having a well-packed carry-on can completely change your experience from stressed to confident. If this video helped you, give it a like and consider subscribing for more beginner-friendly international travel tips. And let me know in the comments where your first international trip is taking you. And if you want a full checklist of everything that you'll need to do to prepare for your first international flight, make sure to check the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching this one and hope to see you again in a future video.